Good morning. Hey, I'd like to invite you along with me to Gamble Online. So, my name is Mike the Gambling Guy, and if you like this type of content where you're watching people gamble online and work to achieve their goals and learn more about the game, learn about bankroll management, that's what I'm here for. So, with that, I'm actually on my online account, and I'm going to be entering into one of their rooms. They have a black room and a red room, and I'm going to be playing Baccarat. So if you're not familiar with Baccarat, I'll also walk through it. As you can see, you can play this game for as little as $1. And in this room, you can go up to $1,500. So I'm just going to go in the $1 to $200 room. It's going to open up in a separate window. I'm actually going to move myself to this side because I want to be able to pay attention to the bead plate over here. That's just what I watch. So there's a couple different. This isn't my favorite room, I got to tell you. So here we end up having to do the math kind of ourselves initially as we watch the cards. And you can bet here on Baccarat on player, banker, or you can bet for a tie. Right? Those are really the three bets that you can make. A tie does pay 8-1 when a tie hits. So here the player has 9, the banker has 6. So there you can see the player had 1. So the game is really who can get to 9 or who gets the closest to 9. All right. Any face cards, 10 or face cards, they all count as 0. Ace counts as 1, and then everything else is its own number. If you have anything that exceeds 10, so say you had 18, right? You had a 9 and a 9, two great cards, right? Because you're trying to get close to 9. We'd end up with an 8. So instead of being 18, it would be 18 minus 10 leaves you an 8. So here you can see the queen and the 3 ends up being a 3. An ace and a 9. That ends up being a waste because that ends up being a 0. It's like, oh, what a waste of a good 9. So the player gets another card. They get a 9. That is fantastic. The dealer gets another card, or the banker gets another card, and they end up with a 3. So it was 9-3. So here we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to I was going to make a dollar bet. Just this website's kind of pretty quick about kicking me out. And I'm actually going to switch to single mode. So down here on the bottom, you can see I can go to single mode, which just cleans it up. That way I don't get to see what everybody else is betting because they don't matter. I am here to play against myself. You can see my current balance is $9,801. I'm trying to get to $10,000 today. That's my goal. So I'm playing at a $50 unit. So it was 9-1 there, and I'm going to just bet $1 so they don't kick me out. I'm just betting on the tie. It'd be fun. If it hits a tie, that would be fun. I only bet $1. Didn't bet anything crazy. And I don't bet every time. Because I am working towards the energy of the table. So I am picking and choosing when I bet. And I'm going to be using the D'Alembert strategy. So the player has an 8. The banker has 0. There you can see there's a pair of 8s, which equals 6. And the banker beats us with a natural 9. So if the player or the banker, on the first 2 cards that are drawn, have an 8 or a 9, no other cards will be drawn that round. If the player has a 6 or a 7, the player will not draw any more cards that round. So if the player has 5 or below, 0 through 5, they are required to take another card. So there the player had 7. Now we're going to make our first bet, and we're going to bet that on the player. Now for this room, I'm only going to win 1 unit. That's my goal here, is to win 1 unit, one $50 unit, and we're gone. So when the player wins, I win even money. It pays 1-to-1 for the player. If I had bet on the banker, it pays 95 cents on the dollar for the wins. Lost, they just take your money. But it's only on the wins, whatever they're paying you, it's 5 cents on the dollar. So you get paid 95 cents. So right now we have a 6 versus a 2. So we do not take another card. Oh, the dealer's still taking another card, a 7. Okay, so we did lose that one. And actually now I'm going to go to the banker. Actually, I had a bet next, and it was actually on the banker. So now I want the banker to win. So in this case, I would win $95, which I'm okay with $95 because I can go to single deck blackjack. Oh, they got a 9. I'm hoping they get a crappy card next. So they have a 2 versus my 5, and I win. So the dealer's a little bit slow on the deal. But you can see I won $195. My $100 back plus $95. You're going to see why I don't say this is my favorite room. So I'm actually going to move my image back over here to this side because I think that's going to help. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this room because we had won. So thank you very much. I'm now actually going to go to the red room. Red room. The red room. So the red room, I'm going to go ahead and you can see I could play blackjack. I could play roulette. Here I'm playing Baccarat. And I don't even know what Super 6 is, but I think it's hilarious. You can come here and you can play bingo. Probably never going to do that, but I come in and play Baccarat. So within Baccarat, I've got a choice of 2 different tables. And then these are the table amounts from $5 to $100, $25 to $500, or $250 to $5,000. So really, you're not limited like the other table to $1,500. As your bankroll gets bigger, and eventually my bankroll, I'm planning on getting it to a $200 and even a $500 unit bet, then I've got plenty of room to keep making bets if I have to progress in my money management strategy. I'm never going to have to place a $5,000 bet. That'd probably make me tink a little bit. That'd be a pretty big bet. So on this table, let's just go in and see where they're at. And literally, these 2 people are sitting side by side next to each other. So they had just started. So perfect. This is where I like to be. I like to be at the beginning of the shoe. So I can kind of get a feel for what energy is happening in the game. And my goal here is to win 2 units. So the player always gets the cards first. They always flip them first. 4. So the player is going to have to take another card. Let me shrink up my picture here a little bit so you can see the player's 4. The banker is 0. And now the player got reduced to 1, and the banker gets another card, and they get a 3. So the player got reduced, the banker got a 3. And now I actually have a bet here. I am going to go for player. So the way the banker ends up having to pull a card is if they have a 0, 1, or 2, they have to take another card. 7, not a bad number. I don't take another card. Banker has a 6. So we won that. Ta-da! So I can tell you, sometimes this happens very fast as far as you don't have to play long to get your units. So my goal every day is to get 10 units. And before I ever got out of bed this morning, I had already won 6 or 7 units. So I guess showing up here only needing 4 units. So I won 6 units. So I need to just win 4 units with you all, with all y'all, right? I guess that's the way it's said down south. I'm not down south. So the player has 0 and the banker has a natural 8. So nice for the dealer. And now I actually have a bet here. We're going to go ahead and put 1 unit on player. So again, 1 unit of my bankroll. Since my bankroll is nearly $10,000, I'm playing at a $50 unit, which is 1/200th of my bankroll. So my stop loss is 15 units, right? So if I have to bet that far, where I'm down 15 units, then I'm done for this session. Time to take a break. The energy is apparently not flowing the way that I'm reading it. So let's go do something else, because we can always get that back. The win goal on any shoe is 2 units. You're going, well, that doesn't seem too hard. So I have a 9 to a 3. The worst I could do there was tie. That is absolute worst outcome. When a 9 was drawn, the worst thing that could happen to me would have been a tie. And if it ties, I get my money back. To me, that's a win too. I mean, that's kind of a really cool thing. So we could go for our last unit here, because we've made these first 2 units pretty quickly. So if I was going to bet here, I'd be saying that the banker is going to be getting the win. It's a 2. Player has a 2. Banker has a 5. Right in the middle. Banker may have to take a card. Player's got a 9, so now the banker's going to take a card. They're going to try to tie it up because a 7 was drawn. The banker's rules are really bizarre. So it's a good thing we didn't go out there and put money on that, because typically after I win, I'll normally just sit out a hand. Don't have to be in a hurry. I can sit and wait. And the funny thing is watch this. So right now we're on the bead road, and we are down here to the bottom of this row. The bottom of the row, oddly enough, has a lot of ties. So I will not be surprised if the energy in the game is dispelled by having a tie here. Player has a 0. It's a pair of 5s. Banker has a 6. 6 isn't a bad number. Player's going to get 1 card. They get a 2. We win, and we're done. Right? So okay, I'm a little bit short here. I do want to tip the dealer. Oh, I'm actually covering up the tip box. I was like, where'd the tips go? So I'm going to go ahead and tip the dealer. And the one thing I like about this room is when you tip the dealer actually takes that chip on top of her card stack. She's going to go tap, 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 tap. And everyone else, all the other dealers in the room, they also go tap, 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 tap. I mean, they do the final 2 claps, which is, if I had the volume on, and I can't because they're playing music and I don't want the music to be copyrighted through this YouTube, and then be gone. So you can see the player has a natural 9 and the banker has a 4. Right, so you can see another bet had lit up. It's just the visual effects of this room is better. That dragon comes popping up. I just like that better. I like the energy from this room when the dealers are kind of all playing together, because they are one giant team there, right? They're all wanting to collect those tips. I mean, that's what they're playing for, is the tips. They're somewhere in the world. I'm not exactly sure where they are. If you want to find out where I play online, feel free to reach out to me. I'm Mike the Gambling Guy, MikeTheGamblingGuy@gmail.com. I'll absolutely share. And this is a totally legitimate website. I get a withdrawal from this site every now and again. Actually, I'm going to be taking one when I get to 10,000. I'm going to be taking a little withdrawal just to help with cash flow, right? But my goal is to get my bankroll to grow to $60,000. So right now we're just shy of 10,000. The goal is to get it to $60,000. Once I'm at $60,000, and I hope you come along with me on that journey to get me to $60,000. Because once I'm there, then I'm going to be at a $200 betting unit. So we win 10 units a day. You can see how quickly that happens, or can happen. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. This was actually kind of the way it normally goes, but it can take a little bit longer. You can get a little bit on the struggle bus, because we didn't really get a chance to walk through what the money management was of using D-Lambert. And I'm just going to throw $10 out here because that'll get us up to our $10,000 while I'm talking. But if you want to find out the website that I use, it's totally legitimate website. I've gotten cash coming into my bank account from them, and it's easy to fund. But I can't mention it on here. I can't put it in the chat underneath the video because that goes against YouTube's policy. But feel free to reach out to me. And please subscribe. Hit the like button and subscribe. I guess that's going to help me. I'm just brand new to this whole YouTube thing, but you can see we just won again. I mean, I could say, unfortunately, you didn't see me take a loss. But, I mean, I'm okay with that. We'll have many, many more time together to work through that. And you'll see me take some losses. I mean, I don't really want to do that. But that's just the way the game plays. Nobody wins all the time. I mean, it's not the way these games are made. The energy can go against us because I do track the energy in the game, and that's what I use to win. Not only playing Baccarat, but I also use the energy in roulette and in craps. So I hope you'd subscribe to the channel and get to learn more about that and find out how you can use the energy to your advantage. More to come. Thanks for hanging with me, and I look forward to doing the next video with you. Take care, everybody.